gone through nights when I had cried. I've gone through valleys with fears around. Been through pains I didn't know why. I've tasted loneliness, left alone. Well, all I have.
I will first of all introduce myself, and I will introduce my guest in the program that we have today. Yeah. My name is Mr. Tony Ume, or Brother Tony Ume, as you may call me. By the special grace of God, your host in this program called Life Experiences with Jesus. It's a heart-to-heart discussion program. And our aim is to be able to take our life issues, the challenges, and some of the challenges that we are going through, to bring it together as a people, to be able to discuss. So even you that are listening from the radio, you have access to also call us, send a text through the email or through the message that you are going to get from the radio, any platform that you are calling from, and ask your questions. We have our audience, a wonderful audience. Please, I would like you to clap for yourself. We have a wonderful audience. You are all looking beautiful. You are all looking good. I appreciate God for your lives. You are all people of God. I can see that. May the Lord help us in the name of Jesus. So we welcome all of you in this program as we have come together to discuss some sensitive issues that we have today. But before I begin to discuss or go deeper into the program, I want to introduce our guest to you. You are familiar to her, some of us, and some of us are not. I have a guest today in the person of our sister, Ngozi Anyaora. Please, can you give a round of applause?
God bless you. Thank you.
To so many of us that don't know her, she's an author. At least she has written 2 books. And one of them is a classic and has to do with what we are doing here today. And the title of that book is I Fear God. Anybody in the house have read this book? Please, can you indicate? Wow. So many of us have read the book. Okay. I Fear God. I believe that I Fear God is based on her own personal experiences in her marriage life. I believe that God allowed her to go through this process for a day like this and for a time like this. Now, today, most of us have read the book, and some of us have not read the book. Please, if you have not, I recommend this book. It's a classic. I Fear God. It's a wonderful book. I've read it, cover to cover. And by special grace of God, we learn a lot of things from it. And based on what we are discussing today, I believe that this book will do a wonderful work in your life. In case you're watching this program from anywhere, please try to request for this book, I Fear God. The author is here. Aren't she looking beautiful? Can you do something for Jesus? When she was coming in, I saw her, I said, wow, you look beautiful. If you see the daughter, you'll be asking, is she the sister? The junior sister? Who senior each other? You begin to ask yourself that question because God has given her the grace and the body, and she also worked to maintain her body to look the way she looked. And I will thank God for your life. May the Lord bless you in Jesus' name. So this book, we are not reviewing the book, actually. I just want you to understand that what we are saying and what we are doing today is part of our experiences. So few of them, if God lead her to it, she will share some of the experiences with you. But today is a heart-to-heart talk. It's not just her talking. You know, it's not easy for somebody to come out to share their stories. I read a book by a particular woman called Juanita Bainon. Some of us have read some of her books. But there's one particular book that she had. I don't know if many of us have read it. And the title of that book is called No More Shit. Have anybody read it? God bless you. That was her first book. No More Shit. That was her first book. She finished writing this book and she was crying. She said, God, what have I done to you to ask me to write this book? What I did in the secret. What I did hiding. Fornicating in the church as a choir leader. Doing a lot of things. You are asking me to bring it out for the world to read them. Say, God, what have I done? And then she titled the book, No More Shit. I recommend that book to anybody. If you read it, you can see how someone can come out to bring, she did not hide anything about her life, her experiences, even as a Christian. You know, sometimes as Christians, we put up this kind of mask and make people to think that we are macho men and women. Especially on Sundays, we look beautiful. Like today, we look beautiful. Nobody knew that inside this beautiful attire, there is something like a spot inside. And nobody can see them. We cover them up with our smile. So today, please, I want us to open them up a little. I don't close my eyes. As the program proceeds, we will try as much as possible to be able to benefit those that are listening to us today on radio, or those are going to watch us on television, or on YouTube, or in any means that they are going to watch us. Let your story be part of their life for them to be saying, one day, I have not met Juanita one-on-one, but you can see I read that book around 1990 something. That's when I read that book. I've not met her one-on-one, but you can see I've been talking about that book because the book taught my life. You also can touch. This program is for us to be able to touch other lives. So don't hide anything. Don't think, people are going to know this about me. It's not about you. This is about Jesus. Is somebody in the house? This is about Jesus. And for Jesus, I can say anything. I open up myself to anything so that it can bring healing to my heart and also to them that are listening to me. I believe that's why God has brought us together in this wonderful program. And I thank God for that opportunity that He has given to us. May His name alone be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay. I will want, let us pray. In Jesus' name. Amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this awesome day. This beautiful day that you have made. For us to rejoice and be glad in it. Because indeed you have made today for us. Father, we don't know who this program is going to touch. And where it's going to touch them. But you are God. And you change us not. We thank you for the opportunity. We thank you for the life. We thank you for all that you have done to allow us to be alive today in the land of the living. To be able to be in this program. Life experiences with Jesus. Father, this is your program. You brought us into it. And we believe that you, God, is going to speak to nations and to the world through this program in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Lord, we thank you for everyone that is present. We thank you for the guests and all our guests, oh God, that are here today. We say, may your name be praised and exalted in the mighty name of Jesus. May it be a wonderful fellowship. May it be an awesome fellowship that we are going to have here together. At the end, the aim is that your name alone will be praised and exalted, O Father. For in Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Let us do something for Jesus. Okay. We are on the program right now. I want you to understand that. And we have a very wonderful topic. Just like I have introduced my guest in the person of Sister Ngozi Anyaora. There's a discussion that is going on and I want us to look at today. And that has to do with marriage. And I believe that marriage is a very unique thing that God has created. God has made. But I found out that marriage is being fought every day in so many homes. There have been challenges of people from all over the world having serious challenges concerning marriage. Pastors, bishops, men and women of God, are going through a lot of challenges or problems or conflict. So today, in Life Experiences with Jesus, what we are going to discuss today is conflict in marriage. Conflict. So, man, we want you to throw a light to us. To start with, what is conflict in marriage? And what is the attribute of things that causes conflict in marriage? Because I believe that anybody to get married, you must have loved the person you wanted to marry before you commit your life to that person. But there are some people who doesn't last for months. I'm talking about divorce. Conflict. Can it be avoided? Can somebody have a marriage without conflict? If conflict comes to any marriage, how would they handle it? So I want us to have the base. Explain to us, man, your understanding about conflict in marriage. Let's start from there and we grow. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. When we talk of marriage, like he said, marriage is the will of God. And so anybody that is going into marriage is actually going into the will of God. Wow. And God started marriage. He founded the institution. That is why marriages don't work, relationships in marriages don't work, because the founder is left out of the relationship. And generally we describe marriage as the union of a man and a woman to become husband and wife. So what distincts marriage is the union. Otherwise, a man and a woman can live together without being husband and wife. But when you talk of marriage, you talk of the union. And for union to be, for you to have union, the two parties must work towards supplying at the center. But we found out that in marital relationships these days, there's a lot of selfishness. I'm going into marriage because of what I will get. The other person is going into marriage because of what he will get. So what happens to the center? Which is the core, which is the union. No one is supplying to the union. When the Lord, if you go to Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, previously when you go to chapter 1, the end of chapter 1, God created everything and said that everything was good. Yeah. But when he came to Genesis chapter 2, from verse 18, he looked again and said, no, something is not good. What is that? How can this man be alone? The aloneness of man. I will make him a help suitable, a help meet for him, a help that is fitted for him.
A help fitted.
Fitted for him.
Okay.
Every man has a help made from God, suited, fitted for him. So you can see, you don't just set out on your own to look out for that help. There's one who thought about it and said that he is going to make a help for you. And so you must consult him when you want to get a spouse. Wow. And God didn't say he was going to make a monitor for the man. Women should be very careful. He didn't say he was going to make a supervisor for the man. So when women want to do like, there's equality here, everybody is equal, gender equality, 50-50. God didn't say he was sending him an equal. God didn't say he was sending him someone who has to be monitoring him or commanding him. God said he was going to send him someone who is the fitted help So the first duty of every woman to a man is to help the man.
Wow.
The first duty of every wife is to help the husband. So no matter how great you are in ministry, and you are not helping your husband, you have failed in your number one duty. And that's actually what happened to me.
Wow.
When I married my husband, I married at the tender age of 20. And let me tell you the truth, I didn't know anything about love. My brother said, when you're going into marriage, you love the person. I just married because this is marriage. Marriage will marry. I just went into marriage. No focus, no vision, just to marry. So I had no target, I had no aim. I didn't know what I was going in there to do. I was just going into marriage. So I don't know whether I wasn't ready or anything, but then when I went into marriage, I was this docile, innocent girl, that just grew up in a local place like that, and but promising anyway. And then when my husband married me, he married me like, I found a very young, docile girl that would be a good wife. Maybe he knew what he wanted in a wife, but I didn't know anything. I wasn't going to help anybody. I didn't know I was to help him. I was just going into marriage. So when I got into marriage, I was kind of expecting, all these, when you marry now, at least some levels will change. Expectations, Assumptions. So, when I marry, I needed to have more money, and there should be a car for me. I think I started knowing what I wanted when I was in the marriage already, and I wasn't getting it. To be precise, 5 years into my marriage, my husband lost his business. By then, he had sent me to the university.
He sent you to the university?
My husband sent me to the university. And it was like a risk for him, because his people were like, how could you see this young, beautiful chap and you are sending her to the university? You will lose her from there. And she said, what? He said, what? That he had already promised my people that he would send me to the university. So he sent me to the university, and I actually wanted to leave him and run away with some other, scholars that I felt he didn't go to school. And I'm seeing people that were read. But I remembered his commitment, not really having much, but he promised that he would train me. And he did that. So when I came out, remember that I said that God sent a woman to a man to help him. So shortly after I graduated from university, he lost his business completely, and that actually affected his health terribly. Even medically, he was advised to stay off stress. And invariably, it meant that I have to be the one taking, responsibilities at home, So I had to dust my certificate, and I had to get a job. When I got the job, I was supposed to start helping him. But somehow, I couldn't actually know what happened, but then I didn't know better. I began to feel like what a man could do, a woman is doing it. I began to see myself climbing to that level of breadwinner. I began to usurp authority. I no longer was helping him. I took over his position, and I was taking decisions all alone. I took charge. I was in charge of my home, and that was the beginning of my fall. That was the beginning of my crisis.
Wow, this is a very wonderful story that our sister is telling. I wanted to actually introduce, but when she started talking, I couldn't stop her. Because if you can see what she's trying to say, the point that we are trying to make, I have picked some point here, and I believe that some of us have. He said that when she was going into the marriage, there was no clear picture of what she was going there to do. That means what you have to learn there, that before any man goes into marriage, either male or female, you must have a clear picture of whom that you want to get married to.
Yeah.
Number two things I learned also that is very, very vital to what you are saying is that you must know the mission of God in going into marriage. And the mission of God is to be a helpmeet. And I believe that God said that to the woman and also to the man. Vice versa. And from what you are saying, the marriage that succeeded is as a man being able to play the role of a man to your wife.
Yes.
And as a woman, being a woman. These are one of the conflicts I'm seeing.
Yeah.
A woman don't want to be a woman. A woman wants to be a man. A woman wants to be in charge. Want to be in head. Want to be the head. Now, the man himself, some men has been, because of challenges or troubles of life, have been reduced to the office of a woman.
Of a woman, exactly.
And that is what I'm seeing from this particular scene that and life experiences that you are discussing with us. So he said that at a point in time, he became like, you begin to lose value because you are now getting, upper hand in the areas of life, and you begin to look at it that it's like a mistake. Or this person, am I sure that this is the person I'm supposed to marry? So let me now work on myself. Because you begin to want to be the one in charge. You want to now become the man, and he now, and you say something. That is where your downfall started.
Exactly.
Okay, man. Let me allow you to continue. I wanted to make everything very clear to every one of us.
Now, also in the same Genesis chapter 2, the scripture said that God made the man to sleep, which actually talked about, you just being at rest and then trusting God to go out to look for, your wife for you. That sleep that Adam went into is symbolically talking about having spiritual rest. Meaning that you are not worried, you are not desperate. So far, God said it's time for you to marry. You trust him that he will go look for a wife for you.
Wow.
He will bring the wife for you. Then the Bible said that he removed a rib from the man to make the woman. Now that's a mystery. When that rib was removed, the Bible said he closed it. He left a weakness in the man. He left a hollow in the man. And that's actually what the woman is coming to fill in. Yes. So that's where the conflict of, you see, 2 months, 3 months conflict starts. What is that mystery? The mystery is that this man has a weakness that nobody knew about. The mother never knew about it. The siblings wouldn't know about it because it's not meant for them. There's a woman that is meant to fill in that space where the rib was removed. Ooh. Do you understand? So when this woman comes in and she begins to see the weaknesses, wow, I didn't know you were like this. Did I see clear? But you were not like this all the while that we are cutting. No, they were just closed.
Wow.
The weakness.
Please, can you give a clap of friend to the Lord? Yes. This is mystery. This is beautiful.
Yes, that's the mystery. So because they're just closed and waiting for, that's actually your work. You see, when women complain, my husband is like this, he's doing like that, I say, that is your work. That's why God has sent you to go and help him. He needs help. Some men, put this, appearance that, this macho appearance that I'm okay. Superman. I mean, I've been okay before I married you. I've been living fine. No. They have a hollow. It's just been temporarily covered. They need help. If a man doesn't need a help, God wouldn't be sending a woman to him. So there's something missing. There's a weakness in him. That's actually, when God took that rib to go and form a woman, God, that weakness that is now, the man has been weakened, that rib is a strength of a woman. So you find out that what is the weakness of a man, the strength is found in the woman. Yes, in the wife.
Wow.
That's the mystery. And so when people get married, because everybody is coming with a selfish mind of what I'm going to get, so nobody is after In fact, I know I met a young couple. There's a young couple that's like, the girl will always be like, why didn't he update himself before marrying me? Why didn't he go for training before? I'm not even ready to work on anybody. And I said, no, you really have not started. That's actually why God has sent you to that man. And it's only you. Even if you're explaining this to any other person, nobody will see it. They see this man outside, he put on blazers, put on shoes, put on masculine look, and it's be like, wow, it's 100%. But when you come in, hey,
so many things.
Is this how he speaks? Is this how he snores when he sleeps? Is this how he... Oh, is this where you keep cup when you drink water? That is why you are there, to make up for him. So that is the basic duty of every wife. And if you are not ready to do that, you may never have a union in that marriage.
Wow. You may never have a union in that marriage. That is very strong. You know, it's different from getting married. Another thing is to have a union.
A union, yes.
So for you to have that union, you must discover that missing link.
Yes.
You must discover that hollow.
Yes.
You must be able to feel it.
Fitting, yes.
If you don't feel it,
yes,
that marriage, you can be married as everybody
sees. Two different people.
But you are two different people living together. The only way the marriage will become a union is if you are able to fill in that gap that God has in that. Wow. Wow. This is very deep. This is very deep.
And you know, how do you achieve this? When you get into a union of marriage, there are things you as a man should drop. You drop some things. You pick up some from her. She drops some and pick up some from the man. That's why, you see, when you really make this union to be, you drop, you pick from her, she picks from you. At a stage, the two will be so one that nobody could differentiate. They see the man, they are like, you're just like your wife. They see the wife, you just talk like your husband. Even when the two are not there to take a decision, you see that what this person is saying is what the other person would have said if he or she were to be there.
Wow. Why?
Because they've been able to mingle, you know, into each other. The man has entered her, she has entered him. And I have a couple, the man has this strength of, he's very disciplined with time, very disciplined with that. And the wife is just this carefree. In fact, it can just take 2 hours to get to where she used to be 2 hours before. And I told the man, I said, this is your strength. I called the woman, I said, this is your weakness. Now, these two people are to marry. How would they cope? And probably they have things to go at, meetings to attend together. So will the man now say, okay, I don't want trouble, let me just say and be late.
Decide to be late.
Decide to be late.
Just to be late.
He has to be.
He's a disciplined person.
He's a disciplined person, and it is actually his strength. So now, in this case, you don't have to drop that strength. It's a strength. You need to encourage her. She has to come up. Everybody should grow in a marriage. You don't have to you don't have to drag your spouse down to where you are. And that where you are is a weakness.
Wow.
Now, when I married my husband, I didn't even know what to learn from him. He looked at me and felt, this one that has gone to school, she corrects all my grammar, she speaks English fluently. So he wasn't ready to take that because he felt, wow, he felt intimidated.
I've been like this insecure. Before you came in.
I've been okay. See, if I want to tell him anything, he said, I have started handling money before you were born. So because actually he senior me, you know, more, the age difference was really more. So he wasn't open to learn. And I also looked down on him and felt, well, he didn't go to school, so I have really got nothing to learn. So we are just like two strangers
in the same
living
house.
under the same roof. The only thing binding us is just the roof. there was no mutuality, there was no relationship. And that's bad.
Wow. 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 This is beautiful. Sharing from experience. This is first hand. It's not they say, as Nigerians we say it. This is real. Reality. Yesterday night, when I was praying and I'm trying to bring it to God, what they want us to discuss, the Lord woke me up and began to take me into a particular thing. I was actually asking God, in one word, this conflict in marriage, what is the problem? What is the major thing that brings this conflict? Because I have seen people who are so fitted outside, but inside there's nothing that fits. Some will think, okay, because of your experience, you are younger, I know he was older, and maybe that's why the gap was there. But I've seen people who are almost close in age, just 2 to 3 years. There's a particular lady in my church. That lady, so beautiful, so educated, was doing well in her work. The young man was into ministry. He went abroad, he studied abroad. He came back. I think in that church he was the tallest. The guy should be up to 6.5. Between 6.4 to 6.5. Very tall. Handsome. When you see the nose, it's like white. I don't know if it's, I think it's a half caste. It doesn't look like a pure Nigerian breed. Very handsome. The lady, very beautiful. So when he came to Nigeria, and both of them have been friends. When they were growing up, they grew up in the same environment. So they knew each other before the young man traveled to abroad. Now, coming back from abroad and coming to the church, both of them met together. And they became friends again. And before you know it, their wedding was fixed. Everybody said this is made in heaven. They've known themselves for how many years? After how many years they came back together, everything is fitted. Maybe the young man is senior the lady, maybe like 2-3 years. She's working class lady with her car. The young man doesn't have a car when he came back. In fact, one of our brothers looked at them, how perfect they look, and he used his car to give them the man as a seed. Said, take this car. You can't carry this woman. You are so handsome and she's too beautiful for both of you to just be trekking. So have key of my car. He was walking and give them his car and begin to trek. That was how beautiful they were. But before you knew it, under just few months, we begin to hear a lot of things happening. What is the problem? This person is this class. That person is this class. No, I know, these reasons that you are saying now bring me to the reality. I've seen some ladies who went to school. They are learned. And maybe they happen to meet a young man who did not go to school, doesn't have that opportunity. And they don't give them a chance at all. As far as they are concerned, we are not reasoning together. The fitting, does it have to do with education? The fitting, does it have to do with moral values? The fitting, has it have to do with God? Because these people were Christians. As far as I'm concerned, they were born again Christians. Both of them were teaching Bible studies in the church. They were learned. They were educated. They were everything. But yet, they can't. And that brought me to what you have been saying. The missing ribs. The man saw the hole in the woman. Because this hole, by experience, as we are saying it now, my eyes is opening more. Why people can be dating for 20 years, dating for 15 years. The time they got married, all their years of dating is thrown away. It becomes a new life entirely. Now, seeing them, two of them now doing these things. They've liked themselves, they've caught themselves, they like the way this person speaks English. Nobody have to correct each other. They all speak impeccable English. But yet, both of them came together and they are not able to manage to see these things. So I want you to throw more light on this fitting in. I want you to throw a little light on it. Later, you have said many things about it. Now, but one of the things that God now told me yesterday night, he said one of the major problems in marriage is lust. I said lust. inside marriage. He said lust is beyond what many of us think about lust. Someone can be lusting after power. Some men lust after their business. The only thing that concerns them is make money. And whenever that lust came in, he abandons his wife and begin to pursue this money. And pursuing this money, he loses his wife. The wife become like, sit at home and whatever you want, I'll provide it for you. Take care of my children. Whichever money that you are looking for, I will give to you. And that is not who the woman is. These are the things that are bringing conflict. He said, lost in the area of, in any form of life that you can think about it. God brought my experience back to when I was in the world. Like I used to tell people, when I was in the world, I was fully in the world. And some of that time, you used to go to club. And when I get to club sometimes, I see married women, married men, come into a club and pick up a prostitute. I wasn't married then, but I couldn't understand it. This man have a wife at home. He still comes to club and picks someone that even the wife is more prettier and more beautiful than, pay her as a prostitute and take her to the hotel. He said that lust is beyond what people are looking at it. A woman can be married to a man but lusting after other people. He said the lust is not only physical or sexual lust. You are married as a woman. You are not contented. You look at your husband after getting married to your husband, you begin to see men. Let's say, for example, you are working in a bank, or you find yourself in a very big office where you are working. You got married to this young man that is trying to come up. And you begin to now see that in your office or wherever you are going, or when you come to that particular, you now begin to see, you begin to ask yourself, what am I actually doing? You see different calibers of men who are willing to spend any amount of money on you just to touch you. But you see yourself that you are coming back and your wife, your husband never have time to even look at your face. Your wife never have time to even look at your face. But the minute you step out of your house, everybody say, wow, beautiful, beauty. Where are you coming from? So tall. And that statement never happened from your partner. And before you know it, you begin to lust after others. You are not like this man. You don't appreciate me. You don't do this to me. You don't do that to me. You begin to use what happens outside to begin to qualify what happens inside. So this issue of lust is very wide. And I want to look at it in different ways. Some is money. You begin to lust after the cars. I knew a man then, when I had my office in Sulere. This man is working with one of the biggest financial company in Nigeria. The wife was a housewife. At a point in time, they were having issue. And the wife decided to have a job at a particular place. So he helped the wife and got her a job. And the wife started working. This man, they have 2 kids by then. He has his car and everything. But before you knew it, one of my boys that was working with me then was contracted by the man. What was the problem? He said, how is my wife coming back from work? Please monitor her for me. Who brings her home? If possible, copy the vehicle number. And a particular man or some office members, we are bringing her home most of the time. And this thing become a problem. For this man to now come, before you know it, conflict has come in. You begin to look at, why is this particular man bringing my wife home every day? He now contracted a small boy that was with me then to please. So when he comes back, he will call the boy. I don't know why he's calling the boy. But the next thing is that the guy will be giving him exactly the kind of vehicle, what the wife, the way she dressed, what they did when the man packed, how did they greet, how did they part. And when I saw them, I called the young man. I said, what is this? He said, that man is telling me every day he comes back. That's what is the problem. So the issue of lust is another area I believe that every one of us need to work on in our marriage. You must learn how to be contented to whatsoever that God has given to you. I believe that what I have learned today and what we are discussing is this: to fill in that hole. Yeah. You have already seen a lot of things that you don't want. Now, accepting that person the way the person is another thing. But I found out that what happens most of the time, that the people now don't want to fill in that hole. Yes. Immediately they see that problem,
they want to look for solution.
They want to look for solution outside, not to help that which they have, to be able to find a way how I myself can be able to begin to enjoy this man or enjoy this woman.
And that robs that home of that union.
And that union is no longer there.
No longer there.
Before you know it, everything is unpacked. Yeah. Now, this conflict in marriage, how do we begin to bring ourselves together? Because you said that marriage, when you started, what you told us is that the marriage is, people see it as two unions, the man and the woman. But from what you are teaching us today, you are saying it's not two unions, it's three. Number one, the person that made the institution, then the husband and the wife. How can this work together? Because there are some people, the wife don't believe and the husband don't believe. Let's say now both of them get married because they have to get married, but at a point in time, the major figure, that which is God, is now missing in that marriage. For example, now the man went out and maybe had something and meet with God, and he brought it home to tell the wife, I went out and I've met God, and this is what I'm looking at. How do we build our home around God? And the way that he or she met that God is not the way that man have known God. Because I want us to narrow this thing down to Christianity. Yeah. It's not the way the husband or the wife have known God for a long time. It's like this person is bringing something strange to me. And most of the man will like, excuse me, where are you coming from? Which pastor did you see that made you to come and be telling me this? He goes to defense. Just because he's the man, he can refuse totally to whatever the wife is trying to bring to the table. And maybe God is using the wife to bring in something that will fill in the man. Yeah. Or using the man to bring something that will fill in the wife. But you find out that most of the time, they reject that gift that God has given to them. And that conflict is always there. I have seen family that is broken just because of God. And they are Christians. Let's say, for example, they are Christians. This person believes in God, they believe in God, they do everything, but when it comes to faith and belief on other things, no, I don't want to do that. I don't believe what you are doing. Be going there first. Let me be watching you. Let me be watching where you are going to.
Is it not based on scriptures?
Now, when you talk about based on scriptures, the scriptures is standing sure and is not divided. But the problem is that the understanding of man to the scriptures varies. Let's say, for example, now they got married as just Christians. But let me use my own family as an example. My mom and my dad got married as Catholics. Very committed. My mother was committed to a point that You know, my father, his own, he was, the day he goes there, the day doesn't go there, does not concern him. He was living his life. But my mother don't joke with any activities. Now, at a point in time in their life, there was conflict. What brought this conflict? There was a challenge that things happen and happen the way they have to happen, and both of them there is an issue. And that issue brought my father to now give his life to Jesus Christ. Then, and belong to a particular denomination. They are all Christians. My mother, all of them, I remember they got married in Catholic. When my father now believed he has met Christ, he went to Grace of God. And when he went to Grace of God, he saw what was happening in Grace of God, and he came home to tell my mother, you don't know God. I'll be with you in this particular form of worship. But now, I have now found God. So you have to follow me to Grace of God. The statement my mother used was, over my dead body. I will never. I met you as a Catholic. We got married in Catholic faith. That is where I will die. You can go anywhere you want to go. But for me, no way. Now, there are many homes going through that. There's a program also that we belong to called Holy Ghost School that talks about personal relationship with Jesus. We have some challenges of a man finding this program first, or the wife finding this program first. Now, the man found this program and bring it home, and the wife said, I don't believe what you're talking about. Or the wife found it first and said, the man said, I don't know what you're talking about. So it becomes, the issue in the marriage now is not even that there's no money. But that third person of God, this person is seeing God from here. This person is seeing God from here. How do we resolve that conflict? Like my father said then, he said, you must, as my wife, the Bible demands that you must follow me to where? He said, which Bible? Is it the Bible that we swear that day you marry me in Catholic? In fact, it come to a point I have to tell my father, see, please leave her alone. And my mother is not the type you can bend. You can bend her on everything. But when it comes to that, you can never bend her. She's willing to die for that. My father went to their own church. They want to make him an elder. But they say, where is your wife? As an elder, you must bring your wife. So he will come home. See them. My wife, she can't follow me. Don't worry, I will leave you. I'll get my another woman. It's just because your children have grown up. You could have seen what I could have done to you. These are the kind of things I hear growing up. And I've seen that happen also in Holy Ghost School. When somebody thinks that he has known God, but one of the partners now found out that he has embraced a particular relationship with God, and he has come to a point where he has known this God better, trying to even relate with the partners become a very big issue. And the man make it unbearable for the woman, or the woman make it unbearable for the man. On this note, before we go on, I would like, if somebody have a question on this which I'm talking about, or a contribution that you think that will benefit everyone, to share with us. I'm trying it to the audience. Have you have such experience? Okay, place the microphone. Okay, they are bringing the microphone. So when we bring the microphone, I want to hear from her your contribution. If you have passed through it, I've told you about my own, my father and my mother issue. So,
according to what we have been hearing, she talked about the wound. The wound. That wound, it is not physical. It is spiritual.
Okay.
And why the conflict in the marriage? Before entering into marriage, there are two personalities that follow us into marriage.
Okay.
And right from the Garden of Eden, those two personalities, they were present.
Okay.
God and the devil. And whatever God have Whatever God have started, devil always want to change it. So if we enter into marriage, if we can walk in the way of the Lord, that is the only way we can see the wound. And because we have not been seeing it, that is why there is always conflict. As long as marriage is concerned, there are two personalities that follow that are all available. Yes.
Interested in that marriage.
Yes. So according to what you're saying, when the other one eyes are open to the divine personality, then he will see the wound. But the other one is following, he has not seen it. So it becomes a big problem, because this is a very deep discussion and wide discussion. It takes the grace of God. Except the spiritual eyes
is open,
there will be no peace. The wound will never be seen. Praise God.
Hallelujah. Okay. Any other person that want to say any other thing? A question, okay.
Concerning you say that a woman's supposed to be a helpmate to
Yes.
your husband when you got married. Then I want to ask, I will ask the question before I say what I want to say. The helpmate, in what way? Is it financial helpmate or
Helpmate is in everything.
Okay, whereby you are.
Help in everything.
Okay,
Yes.
whereby you are called to serve God and you have this assignment to carry on, and God stop you for doing your business and ask you to go home, and your husband is still working, and the man has made it, he has taken everything that, let me say, I am the one bringing money in this home, you are not working, you're lazy. For example, every woman in the compound will be going to work, you will come out and be greeted like, are you going? No, they go bye-bye. You know that kind of a thing I'm saying. Then just like you say, you just say, go and ask your mother. It does not do anything to help. Do you understand? And anytime you try to work, you see God rebuke you. Do you understand what I mean now? For example, I traveled home. God sent me home for evangelism. Then when I traveled home, I was busy doing the evangelism on December period. Then my husband called me on phone and said, sure, you have some of your CDs. I say, I should go to Iweka Road and meet those marketers and show them, so that if I come to Lagos, I'll be able to let me see whether they will, I said, okay. He keep on worrying me, only that CDs. I discussed with my husband that God sent me home. He did not ask me, how many souls have you made? He's in Holy Ghost school. How many souls have you made, or how are they responding? What he was busy asking me is CD. And if I say I'm not going to Iweka Road, he will get angry on phone. So that very day, I decided to go to Iweka Road. I reached Okuza Expressway. As I entered vehicle, God said, come down. I came down. Another vehicle came, I entered. He said, drop. I was confused there. I came down. A lady asked me, are you not going again? I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. He said, why can't you just be walking up and down? You enter motor. Driver said, if you don't go, maybe you don't have money to enter. I left there. The Lord said I should enter one restaurant to eat. I don't want to eat, and he said I should enter. As I enter, they don't have meat. He said I should eat whatever they have. They say they have rice, beans. I said, okay, give me beans. The next thing God said I should be telling the woman about Holy Ghost school. I started talking about Holy Ghost school. The woman started weeping. He told me her stories, how he lost her husband. The son in the university came from Unizik, came immediately I was preaching. The son said, listen to her, mommy, I like what she's teaching you. I need it because all these pastors have disappointed us. So as I was teaching, they pick. In fact, they were interested in the program.
So what you are trying to say now, what I'm getting from what you are saying now is that God sent you on an assignment.
Yeah, my husband wanted me
now, but your husband have another assignment.
Yeah.
So her question is, how do you cope with such when God have already told you this is what you want you to do? Now the man that you're supposed to help is not telling you.
Even your head.
Even your head is not telling you what will she do. And you can see from what she's saying.
Today, concerning that business issue, is still angry with me today. That's what I want to ask.
Okay.
Because the helpmate, I don't know the area I will help.
Okay, so what can she do on that?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You know, God is not an author of confusion. That is scriptural. And there have been events like this in scriptures. We have examples from the lives of Joseph and Mary. Now, one of the things you can do in a case like this is still acknowledging the place of the senior helper. The senior helper in a union is the Holy Ghost himself. Now, one of the confusions God knew was going to be in the marriage between Joseph and Mary was that Joseph was not going to understand the logic behind seeing something that has never happened before in history coming to begin with his own wife, which he has not even had honeymoon with. He just got married, no honeymoon, nothing. And then you're coming to tell me that you're pregnant. You know, it was the biggest confusion ever he was going to face in his life. And he has nobody to make reference to, because nobody has ever experienced that kind of a thing that can share experience with him. So quietly the Bible said, being a godly man who does not want to give his wife a public spectacle, embarrassing his wife, making a public show of her, we got married, nothing, you have gotten pregnant and all that. The Bible said he had resolved quietly to put her away silently. He would just do it in a very responsible way to retain the woman's integrity, at least before the immediate people that know them. But you see, the Bible said that an angel of the Lord visited him in a dream of the night. So we need to ask God, who has spoken to the wife on an assignment. And one of the things a wife like that should do is to also ask God, please tell him.
Exactly.
Since they are both born again,
Exactly.
that's the only way to resolve that kind of confusion. If God has not told him,
He won't accept it.
but the day God speaks to him, see how Joseph managed the life of Mary, the woman he was planning to put away. He took her to himself, in as his wife, and the Bible says he never knew her until the child was weaned. He never, you marry a wife, you didn't touch her until 2 years later when they stopped breastfeeding Jesus. That was when Joseph started honeymoon. Now that kind of sacrifice can only come when a man hears God for himself. Don't go and try to teach that man as a woman. Don't try to do spirituality before your husband, and you want to impose an opinion on him in the Lord's name. Even God will mark it 0. You will need the Lord, who is the head of your head. The head of the man is Christ. Let his head handle him. He has every authority to handle you as your head, but he has a head that can also handle him.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. You said very well. You know, whereby the first time he told me to walk, I called one Sister Mary. You know Sister Mary? Through Ebenezer. You know Sister Mary, she sells drugs. I told me, Sister Mary, okay, I want to sell drugs. Teach me. He said, okay, see how much we bring. I told my husband, okay, give me 20,000. We add. I'll just follow her and know how she's selling these drugs. My husband said, oh, he was happy within that week. He was just smiling with me, talking with me. Then the day we were supposed to go and buy these drugs, he slept and woke up and called me, say, I'm not comfortable in you going to do that business. I said, why? He said, he talked about this business. I'm having bad dreams about you. I said, what dream? He said, so where I made a pit. I put wrapper, carry my baby girl, enter. I asked him, come and join me. He said, God forbid. I said, what is God telling you? He says about that business. I had another dream about 2 different ones since I discussed about that business. Is it not enough for you to know that God does not want me to do this?
Now I'm trying to pick up now something that she's saying. There are still men, you know, the Joseph we're talking about was able to accept the instructions of God. But from what she's saying, there are still men who are not willing to accept the instructions of God. because of their level, I better say because of their level, they don't want to accept. They believe they are the man. They're not matured in spiritual things. Joseph was a godly man. That was what helped him to be able to know what God was saying and key in to what God was saying. But there are certain times that you met the people that even if God showed them, they wake up and they still refuse to do what God has showed them. So, in that case, or what do we do?
No, let me say something here.
Okay.
Because I found out that most marriages, the foundation of most marriages is faulty. People married out of, I'm going to have this in this marriage, I'm going to get this, I'm going to gain this. And people married out of, I love you, I love you. Which I tell people, that's a statement. And it could be withdrawn at any time.
Wow.
That's not how to marry. Before you go into marriage, you have to consult the owner of the institution. You must have a personal, intimate, talking relationship with Jesus Christ. That is the first step.
Okay.
How will you hear who he is telling you to go and marry? How do you know? So many marriages were done blindly. Mine was done blindly. My husband just needed a beautiful girl as a wife. And in fact, he started going to church when he was coming for me. He wasn't a church goer. He wasn't consulting any other thing. He was just like that.
Because he knew that you like church.
Because he knew that I was a Christian. So just because of the marriage, he enrolled into Anglican church.
Wow. And become a brother immediately.
And became a brother immediately. So that's not the foundation is still shaky. So whatever that is built on a faulty foundation is actually bound to collapse. That is the first thing. The man and the woman, that's why actually in marriage we marry our brothers and we marry our sisters. Because you have to marry someone from the same family with you, family of God. So at least whatever you are doing, you know that you are relating with your brother. You are relating with your sister.
You speak the same language.
You speak the same language.
You understand.
You understand yourself. Now, and also I say what she said, you know, let me say that women seem to be more zealous. You can get a woman, you can convert a woman more easily than a man. Men are conservatives when it comes to issues of faith. But once a man
picks it up,
he can go further even than the wife. I tell women, I say, mind yourself, work on yourself first. Because if a man, like my husband, if my husband says he wants to do indoor, I'll be asking him, is it in room you are doing? Because he will be in one room, he will not look out through the window, he will not even come out to brush his mouth. But me as a woman that felt I was the one at the forefront, I'll come out, look through the window, wash plate, wash clothes. Before you go in, maybe 12 in the afternoon. His own, he has started since morning. And it's me that thought that I have been more spiritual than him. So let's work on ourselves. Now, personally, when the Lord had called me into full-time ministry, because in my own home, like I told you, my husband lost his job and that affected his health. So I had to do everything. You know, the whole responsibility was actually on me. And I think that also contributed to my ill behavior because I felt I was just looking for a way out. I was just looking for a way to be happy. So I was misbehaving. I wasn't just myself, you know. But then in that, the Lord still said, leave this job, follow me. And on this job, that's where the house rent comes from. Feeding, school fees, everything.
And God says you should leave this job.
And God said, leave this job and follow me. I'm done with you in this office. I will not tell you lie. I didn't do like Abraham. I didn't follow immediately. Because I didn't understand how God will ask me to fall down with from 4-story building without seeing where I'm landing. Because that was what it seemed to me like. And I was like, God, should I go and look for another job? He said, no, leave this job and follow me. Okay. Well, I had to ask a series of questions that took me time. And he answered me, but I still didn't obey immediately. Now, to even help me to be partially obedient was my husband. My husband said, no, this can't take place. You don't even try it. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay the school fees? Remember that he was actually financially incapacitated, you know. And I said, I don't know. God said I should do away with all this. I'll follow him. He said, no, you're not resigning. Let's go and ask God to give us another year. Permissive will. We went to ask. We didn't hear anything, no. We gave ourselves a year. And I will not tell you a lie. It's not that I kept on asking him, God has asked me to resign from this job. Manage the money, save it well. The man was enjoying the money very well. He was just using it. He wasn't saving. So I was afraid all around. 1 year elapsed. My husband still saying, no, we are still not ready. We are going to ask God for another
1 year. Can you imagine?
So that means we keep going
giving
1
God
year
conditions.
after 1 year. And I knew, God spoke to me, and I knew what he told me. But I couldn't move on my own to resign because I have an immediate head. And I was like, God, I have a head, and you're speaking to me. How do I now resolve this? My immediate head said, no, wait. And God has asked me to resign.
I think this is answering the question.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So sometimes I'll tell women, I said, there's a time for every vision. God may ask you to stop business. It may not be immediate. God looks at our heart to see the willingness. That's the first thing. If God gives you an instruction, he looks at your heart to know if you are willing. If you are willing to obey him, he will take care of all these other challenges of spouse issue, agreement or not agreeing. Now, how was my own resolved? You know what happened? God took away my health. In his wisdom, he just took away my health. I wasn't the type that will fall sick. And I was one of the prominent staff in my place of work. All of a sudden, my health collapsed. Some days I will not go to work. It became like a threat to my job. I called my husband. I said, I knew what was happening to me, but I can't go beyond what you have seen. What should I do? He said, let's just keep on holding on. One day I looked at him. I knelt down. Because when the Lord dealt with me to begin to submit to my husband, it was a dealing. I didn't on my own go out to start submitting to him because I didn't see anything in him that would make me submit to him. He wasn't responsible to me for anything. So I was the one buying him clothes, giving him pocket money. So why would I submit to a man that I feed? You know. So I didn't, but before then, God had dealt with me. You know, I went through a series of dealings that almost cost my life and the life of my little daughter, because you know that women are close to children. If God wants to get your attention, sometimes if it's not getting your attention directly, it may go through your children. And so after that experience, God had kind of got my attention, you know, in submitting to this man that I never ever felt I should. And when he said that, I was like, okay, how will I now disobey him? So God took my help. I had to one day kneel down. That came out of, it's a product of the dealings of God upon my life. Because I never knew that, I never said please to my husband before then.
Never say please.
I never say please. I didn't see why I should say please to him. I never said thank you because I didn't feel he did anything, you know, to me. He didn't contribute anything to my life. I never said sorry. All those words we said are magic words. And we taught children, because I was a teacher, and I taught children all those magic words, but I never used them. Because I felt he should be apologizing to me. He should be thanking me because I was actually not just helping him, I was carrying his whole burden. So pride was actually in me, you know. And but by that time, I had begun to learn to submit. So my knees became like flexible, to him. So I had to go on my knees because I knew that I wouldn't go into arguing, because I now started like marrying him as unto the Lord. When he's talking to me, I'm not just seeing my husband. Because if I should look at him, there's nothing in him that will make me respect him. I was more learned and I felt I was more spiritual, even though sometimes I'm praying and God will not listen to me until I say, my husband, please come and join me pray. So he make me like that pride should go down. You're not just that more spiritual anyway. So God has a way of, blending these things. No, and so I had to go on my knees. I really went on my knees. I was shedding tears. I said, my husband, please, it's either my life or this job. I'm just dying. But you insist I should continue with this job. I don't know what to do. You can see that this is not me. Week after week, I wasn't myself. The way I was saying it, because the manner of approach matters. The tone, even your facial countenance when you are talking to your husband. God looks at all those things. So, I know several things that my husband said, I had to listen to you because of the way your face looked. Because you cried. Because you knelt down. Sometimes, even when he wasn't there, if I had to apologize for something, we are not in the same location, I'll tell him, Daddy, please, I'm on my knees. Because of that, he will like, something touched his heart.
Let's clap for Jesus, because it takes a broken woman to be able to do that.
Yes.
Now, looking at her own position then, not just a broken woman, maybe that is living in a mansion that the husband built, but this is a woman that she's the one bringing the money to the house, she's the one paying the rent, she's the one taking care of the children and everything, and still kneel down to tell the husband, please, darling, I am this, I am that. Wow, that is beautiful. Because there's something you said that is very, very important. The tones that we use to say things, even our facial, expressions, even the manner, the attitude, the way we carry ourselves to do those things might be a stumbling block. It might be that God is using your husband or your wife to actually break such attitude in your life.
Yes, yes.
Because I believe that, like what you are saying now, God can decide. If God has said this is what he has called you to do, nobody can stop it.
Exactly.
Now, if it's not happening, it means that something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's your job to do what? To find out what is actually the problem. Is it my attitude? Is it the way I communicate? Is it the way I speak to him?
Yeah.
Is it when I'm angry, the way I talk? Because some people, especially men, they are very, very sensitive. You can say some things. Normally, the man wanted to do that, but he has sensed the atom of pride in the wife. He will refuse that thing to be done. No matter how you want to say it. I used to tell people that one of the softest people on earth is men. Yeah. You're right. Many people may not agree with what I'm saying, but what I want you to understand, if you understand, every man has a key. Every man has a key. There are men, they look tough in the physical. When they come out, they try to show that they are men. But wise women have their key. And those wise women are not the ones that go toe to toe with them and try to let them know I'm wise after I'm educated. Do you think if you use such language on men, that man may be ready to break that marriage? But when you use that power that God has given to you as a woman, for example, women have their strength in being soft. And when you are soft, to communication is one of the things I'm trying to bring out from what you are saying.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
It's very important.
There's a way you communicate with a man. I'm telling you, that man will wash your pants. That man will cook your food. That man can do anything for you. Because the expression is not, I am telling you. The expression the man is getting is that you need help. But one of the problems we are having as a people is we try to close our weaknesses, so he doesn't think I'm weak. So you see that I'm working, I went to work, I come back today, and I'm the one that's going to the market. I'm like, please, you should help me and go and cook. I will tell you that's not my job. Go and cook. You get what I'm saying now? So one of the things that God was dealing with you, we are learning. Okay? One of the things I believe that God, you said that to your husband, what God have said, which is to do what? To stop your work. And it never worked for him. One of the things you did not do then, God gave you the wisdom. You didn't drag him to what God was saying. You did not drag him to what God was saying. What were you doing? You were begging him, darling, please, let's do this thing this way. Let's do this way. And when God sees the sincerity of your heart, when God has seen your own submission, when God has seen that you are willing to do what he wants you to do, but the problem that does not allow you to do that is your husband. Now God now wants to do what? To now come in to show that he is the one that have asked you to do that. Yeah. So I believe that if you can do the right thing, have the right attitude, and have the right approach to what God has told us, nothing on earth can stop us from becoming whatever God can go to any length to make sure that whatever he said happened.
Yeah, there's something else someone do.
I'm coming, man. You're going to talk. Okay. When he breaks you down, then you know that when a woman is broken down, or you are sick or anything, your husband now have to know that this is not a small issue. Exactly. But then he affected your daughter. He will come to a point where he has to do what? Say, God, let your will be. Yeah. God knows how to bring everybody to his will, whether we like it or not. If God decided that this is what I want to do, no man or woman can be able to stop him. He will find a way to bring it out. But you that are carrying the mission must understand what it means to bring your heart to the altar and be humble. And learn how to understand that God, and that now I keep saying, don't drag anybody to where you are. Try to work with them. Mm-hmm. And when God sees that you have done your own part, I believe that God himself will do his own part. Yeah. Praise the Lord. Mm-hmm. Okay, I would like us to get some questions from the radio. There are some questions that people are sending us on the radio, and I would like us to be able to bring on those questions so that we can look at them. Some people are listening to us, as I said, live on radio. Okay,
thank you, sir. The first question is from Samantha from Kenya. And the question is, I am having a problem now with my husband because I am more of a disciplinarian. But the question I want to ask you, sir, Ma, is, do you believe it is okay to discipline your child in public? That is the first question. The second question is, what was the biggest decisions you made in the earlier stages of your marriage? That is Soche from Scotland. And the third one is...
No, let's take it one by one.
Okay.
The first one said what?
I am having a problem now with my husband.
Yes.
Because I am more of a disciplinarian.
Okay.
The question is, do you believe it is okay to discipline your child in public?
Okay, that's the first question. Ma.
Yeah, well, the first part of that question is that she is having a problem with her husband. That's over-disciplining a child, I guess.
Yes, I believe. Outside. In the public.
In the public. That's their child. I mean, and she says she's a disciplinarian. Because I can see two different personalities here. Probably she is the stronger person.
Yeah.
She's strong-willed, and maybe the husband is just like less of a carefree person, you know. And this is a good one. What this person doesn't have, this person has got it. It's just understanding. Open rebuke is better than secret love. A child could be corrected anywhere, you know. So far is going to, you know, change that.
Or it doesn't lead to abuse.
That child. I'm not saying yes if it doesn't lead to abuse, because we don't know the extent of this.
The correction.
The correction, because if you scold a child outside, I mean, why won't each of the, you know, the parents be satisfied with it? She never told us the extent of the discipline, what really happened.
Yes, because the way it is now, you can see that maybe she's doing it, overdoing it, and so it can be vice versa. It can be two ways. let's say now, maybe the child is already a teenager or have come to a particular, and you come to where people are and you embarrass the child. To me, that is not training. I believe that is not training because you are disciplined. Let's say, for example, you now come to a place where people are. Like say the first time I traveled to the US, I was in a church, and I came out. It was shock to me to see the woman with the daughter. The daughter is maybe like 14, 13 years. She was pinching the daughter. If I have to go to jail because of you, I will go to jail because of you. I can see she was burning inside. She was angry. But because she's in the US, she knew that if she do certain things, she may go in for it. So she's trying to, she doesn't know how to express this anger. She's now telling the daughter, I am willing to go to jail even for you. No, you cannot raise the hand like that. But you have to, And the girl was like, mommy. So we came in. So when we came in, I began to see the situations and everything, and I asked, what is the challenge? Now, do you know what is the challenge? The mother told them not to be lying. And as a child, the girl took it. That is not good for you to do what? To lie. Then there was a situation where the girl was there, and she knew what happened, and the mother was lying. And Americans, he told, mommy, you lie. Mommy, you lie. You told me not to lie. And this was a serious case. So the person that she was now talking to was like, wow, so why will you be lying to me? So the woman tried to cover it and couldn't. Maybe she lost a big thing she was trying to do. So when she now came out with the anger, you see what I'm trying to say now. Now, who is wrong here? The young girl, is she wrong? No. The mother is wrong. You get what I'm saying now? Now she's trying to, say she wants to discipline. So discipline has to come from different angles. We have to look at it and see exactly what. That's not discipline. You're not trying to abuse the girl because she stood that, and you're coming from church. I'm telling you.
You just collapsed.
Your trust
you have built
for years.
Yes.
You just disappointed and betrayed what you thought then. You should be apologizing.
You get what I'm saying? So when people talk about being a disciplinarian or discipline, you need to know the area where you are coming from.
Yes.
But you have to make sure that in as much as you try to correct any child, please never you go to abuse. Raising up children is sometimes children have their own opinion. Sometimes, especially when they are gotten to a certain age, they begin to feel that they have known certain things. Don't allow your anger to take over you. There are so many people who have allowed their anger, not because they want to abuse that child. There are some children that are stubborn, naturally. No matter whatever you say to them, they'll say, okay. Some of us were like that before anyway. I don't know about you. Okay, maybe you are nice people. You never, Okay, you want to say something, my brother? Okay, please give him the microphone.
Amen.
Amen.
In an answer to the question of that woman that is correcting the children outside, I think the Bible have a word for us in the book of Ephesians chapter 6, verse 4. And the Bible is saying, ye fathers, in other words, ye parents. It says, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. So parents are encouraged not to provoke the children. There are things parents can be doing to their children. They may be calling it training or correction. It may be a provocation.
Wow.
When you are trying to correct your child, you should try as much as possible to do it in love. There is a way you correct your child. You're only displaying anger. You are only trying to satisfy yourself. You are not trying to imparting. There's a difference between imparting your child and trying to take revenge.
And that is where the abuse comes in.
Trying to display anger. Yes. Trying to display anger on the child. The Bible says we should nurture them in the way of the Lord. We should not provoke them. So if it is not everything a child does that you be correcting that child over. And there are various ways, there are different ways you correct a child. So there are some you have to pretend as if you did not see what they are doing. Then when you come back home, you will tell that child, look, it's not as if I did not see what you did there. It's because we're outside. Never you repeat it again. So it will make more meaning to that child than when you are slapping him outside. So that woman need to take some corrections too. So things she's calling correction may not be so. It may be provocation. The Lord
Let's
bless
clap
us.
for there's a wonderful one. Thank you very much. Okay.
Sometimes God may be using the child's weakness to reveal your weakness to you as a parent.
Beautiful.
You might be a woman or a man, let's make it general now, that has a lot of impatience to deal with, a lot of anger to battle with. You have rage, and you know how to play nice about it in public. But God has brought a child that misbehaves in the public.
Wow. That's that angle to it.
To help showcase, make a public show. God likes to make a public show of anything he wants to nail to the cross. Before he can take it out of the way, sometimes he will have to make a public show of it. He has to expose you to help you discover yourself and accept. He has been telling you in the secret, you are not accepting.
And not listening.
He wants you to accept it by force in the public. That actually you have the problem of rage and anger. So at that point, if a Christian woman is in the picture, or a Christian man, where if he's an unbeliever, not so much is at stake because it's expected. But if we are talking about a believer in the picture, a child of God that needs to improve and grow towards perfection. Now, this is a revealer that should help the woman or the man discover this is not about this child. Oh. I have to go and cry before God. I have anger. My rage has not died. I need to beg to nail it. So that sometimes let parents also see children as a mirror. May God help us see ourselves too when we are dealing, because you can be trying to deal with a man's impatience, but you're also dealing with the matter impatiently.
Beautiful. The next question. Okay, want to say something on this? Okay, microphone. Okay.
Because you don't actually know the condition of.
Yes, we are just trying to
explain
details.
Now, let's assume that
she sent another one. Yes. Okay, because she's listening to us. Okay, I think she said she wants to clear herself.
This is from the same person, Samantha from Kenya. She said, I'm an African parent living abroad, and I do not dare abuse my child. But my husband does not like my child to be disciplined at all.
Okay.
Instead, you talk to our children, and I am not like that. What do I do?
Okay. You can see she's coming from, though we have gotten some this, that's why it's good to be cleared. I think it's clear. Thank you very much for bringing that, because she's saying that. Now, the issue that she brought on the table now is almost different from what we are trying to say. She is saying that she's the one that believes that a child should be corrected. And their father, don't want you to even correct them. And I think I have seen such experience so many times. There are so many men who are so deep with love with their children over their wife. I have seen a child. I know some people don't understand the strength of children. Some of them you call them child, but I'm telling you, some of them are more wiser or more crafty than even adults. A child comes into a home. He begins to study the husband and the wife. And they understand that daddy don't like to shout. And mommy like to shout or correct. Some of them tend to do what? Psychologically try to go to daddy. Because in daddy's side, you are more safe. Now, the mommy now is correcting, and what she's saying is the truth. But because they have a father who doesn't want to look into that, most of that father now begin to. So when the woman want to talk, say, I will tell my daddy when he comes back. I will tell my daddy when he comes back. And the man comes back, and the child went to the man to explain or to tell, well, daddy, I was doing that, and mommy beat me, and mommy even beat me. And some men, to me, that man is not a man. Some men will take it up on their wife, immediately begin to shout and begin to yell at their wife. Why did you be that child? Hey, you are every time you'll be shouting. What have you done? You have killed. That's your wife in the presence of own children. So what are we trying to say here? There must be, it's a challenge. What can such a woman do? You can't see your child going and being lost and you keep quiet because you want to play a nice mother. It can be vice versa. So she's asking us, what do I do? So I think that number one that she has to do is to bring the matter to God. Because what we're talking about here is God. There are certain things or corrections that you might not be able to make as a man. Even if you try to do it, the more you try to do it, the more you are being misunderstood. So such woman, what is she going to do? If she continues to do that, that can scatter her marriage. Now what's she going to do? Will she now keep quiet and watch the children? Now, that is where he came in to what my brother was saying. Everything in life has a way that it can work out. I don't believe there's a problem in life that doesn't have a solution. But you have to find out if, for example now, discipline that child is using cane, and that is what is causing the problem. Why not use another means of trying to love that child more? Bring that child more and talk with that child. Let me give an instance, for example. When I was growing up, my mom is more of a disciplinarian. My dad is not even nowhere to be found. Talking about knowing what is happening in the house. But at a point in time, certain things will happen when you not see my father. My mother will beat, but she knew when not to beat. There was a time I did something. My mother will see what you did and never say anything. So as a child, you be, because before I want to come and eat in the night, I'm looking at her face. You know, I want to know whether there's a cane somewhere. And she will pretend that everything is fine. I want to come in, I will put my first leg, I remove it back. No sign. I sit down to eat. As I'm sitting down to eat, my leg is like this. So at anything that she wants to, she will not say anything. She will pray, quickly lock the door. That time I know I've entered. But I'll be watching. What is she going to do? Did she hide cane by this door? I'm expecting it to happen. Sometimes she will go to bed and sleep. I will open one eye and look at her, she's sleeping. And before you know it, I myself will doze up. Sometimes she will sleep around 3 or 4 a.m. My mom will touch me. Immediately she touched me like this, my mind will go, I say, hey, I don't enter. I thought I beat all these things. He said, do you see me with cane? I said, I didn't see cane now, but I don't know if he's around. She will sit me down sometimes and talk for 1 hour. She will bring in what I did, tell me the implications, and tell me why she's trying to tell me not to do what I'm doing, and bring it to my knowledge. And before you know it, my mother used her words to form a strong bond that was not broken by any man until she died. She found out that beating me doesn't change anything. But what gets to me is words. So she quickly began to use words. So I think what my sister has to do is to be bringing herself to God. God, give me the wisdom and understanding how to handle this situation. And I believe that if she's able to get it and use that key, like I said before, for that child, You'll be surprised that even when the father want to fight the mother, the boy will say, Daddy, leave mommy now. Mommy did not do anything. Because I found the key. But if you are trying to make that impression or do that correction in the flesh, the way you think that is civil for you to do it, you may get it wrong. I believe that every child has a key and a way that you talk to that child and they will listen. If you are using one particular way and it's not working and bringing you problem, why not change it the other way and try to use that form to be able to bring those children in the way that God wants us to. Praise the Lord. Okay. I think another question. Yes,
sir. This one is from Sarah from the United States, and this one says, as a woman, one of the things that causes conflict in our marriage is on how to manage people. The question I want to ask is, how do you manage in a marriage? How do you manage your friend's husband or your husband's friend rather, and his family members?
Okay.
I don't know if you understand that.
Yes. How do you manage the friends of your husband and the family members? This is a very tactical question. I hope you understand the question that she's asking. Yeah. There are some men, they don't have issues with the way they are living with their wife. They can manage their wife, no problem. But the way their wife is handling their own siblings is the issue, or his friends. And she's asking this question. How do you manage that? Please, can you throw more light?
No. When a woman is going to a man, she is going to have this mind like Ruth did. Your people
are my people.
Your parents are my parents. Your brothers and sisters are my siblings as well. Because I do tell wives, I say, when you are getting into marriage, you now have two parents. Your own parents, the parents of the man, and vice versa. The man too has two parents. And you have siblings. All you need to do is to put them where they should be. This one comes, maybe the eldest, the youngest. Put all of them as your siblings from both, family sides.
They are part of your family.
They are part of your family. So
not that this one is from my.
If, for instance,
because this issue we are having on this place, this thing happens every time. There are some families that the woman, if her own people comes around, everything is fine.
Yes.
But the day that the husband, brother, or mother, or sister visited the house, it becomes an issue.
That's the lack of understanding. Do you understand? Because if you actually know that these people are my own people, if, for instance, the man has like 5 siblings, you have 3 or 2. You now have like 7 siblings all together. That understanding must be there. Because I see this happening, and in fact, in some homes, this is a problem. It's not even the man and the woman. It's the mother-in-law. And at this note, I also want to encourage mothers-in-laws. When there's a new home, do your best to keep off. Allow them to build. Let them understand themselves. If they need your advice, you can give them. If they don't need you, leave them. And when they are married, you don't own that man again. You don't own that woman again. And the man also, the Bible says, when a man is marrying, he's going to leave his father and mother and cleave unto the wife. Meaning that the father and mother of the man do not have the control over him. He is not the parent's boy any longer. He is going to build his life with somebody else. So he may not take your instructions. That's why sometimes you see some in-laws, they be like, this lady must have
done
captured something on our child. How come we tell him something and he will tell us, I have to discuss this with my wife? But that is what it should be. We have to understand this. That the moment your child leaves you, you don't have that control. The authority is kind of lost because he's going to get the authority in the spouse. Sometimes I'll tell my husband, because he'll be like telling our daughter that is married, she's married, and my husband will be like, hey, this one, do you do it like this? Do you do it like this? And I'll tell him, Daddy, we don't have that right, authority over her. We can tell her what to do in her home. And she gets over, the husband say, this is what I want you to do in our home. And that one stands. I personally told our daughter, I said, when I tell you something, and you go home, and your husband is telling you something that is contrary to what I'm saying, please listen to him. Because these are things that cause problem. The girl is still like mommy's girl.
Yeah.
So whatever the mom tells her, she is carrying it into the marriage.
If it's working or not.
If it's working or not. And the man wouldn't take it lightly, even with the mother-in-law. It's like, you want to control me and then control everything. That's conflict for you.
Wow.
And then siblings too, I found out something. When basically there has to be understanding. For instance, when I was in school, in fact, on returning from the school, I found out that my house was filled with my husband's siblings. All his brothers and sisters, cousins put together, they were in the house. And in all honesty, I didn't see it as a problem. I felt one day they will go. Why? Because I love people. I just love people. Some women don't love people. I know women that will tell me, I don't like seeing many people around me. But if it's their own, they'll try to manage. And I'll tell them this is partial. Now, so when I came back, I made the house full with my husband people. And it wasn't a big problem to me then anyway. I was able to cope with them and until they all left. Because I believe that, especially Igbo people, no Igbo person wants to be under a person for a long time. One day they will find their way and go. And eventually they all left. And today they're like blessing to us. Because this is something that women or men don't even know. That person that you harbor, that you trained, whether it's your wife's sibling or your own sibling, will be a blessing to your own home tomorrow. You know, so this understanding must be there. I think this shouldn't be. If there's understanding that my husband people are my own people. My own people are my husband people. I know a home that runs like this. If the husband people come to the house and want to take something, the man will say, it's my wife that bought it. My wife bought it. So his people will not take that. If it's the woman's people that come and they want to take something, the woman will say, it's my husband that bought it. He needs it. And they will not take it. So there has to be understanding. You see, when the two people that are involved are close and they are one, the Bible says when a man and a woman are married, they are no longer two. They are now one. If they are really one, they can handle their siblings.
Yes. I think the challenges is the gap that the people give to themselves.
Yes.
I know in marriage they try to make themselves that this is my wife.
And this is my wife people.
These are my wife people. And this person is saying this is my husband. These are my husband people. So that unity or seeing them as one, many don't actually accept that. So the thing is, everybody is trying to now protect. I know a marriage that broke into pieces just because of this. I look at the man. The man was a wonderful person. The wife also was a wonderful person. What was the problem? The wife would discuss something with the husband. They said this is what they want to do, and this is how they want to do things. They will agree. The man will say, I'm coming, I'm going to work. I might come in, I will branch and see Momsi and Popsi. But Momsi and Popsi is in Lagos also. So immediately he would drive to Momsi and Popsi house and brought the issue that the wife discussed with him, with Momsi and Popsi. And they will give them their own opinion, and whatever opinion that the Momsi and Popsi give to him is what he's hold on to. So he will come home, and the wife will expect him to execute what they have talked about. The man will bring something else. And you know, women are very, very intelligent. When you talk about people that are very intelligent, I'm telling you, is with the women. Some men may not agree to that, but that is the fact. Let me give you an instance. If you see a young lady or a young girl growing up now, for example now, and you are a man, you call her, excuse me, come. She will first of all behave as if she didn't hear what you said. You say, hello, I'm calling you, come. If she managed to stop and turn, she will begin to ask, why is this man calling me? Why? What did he want from me? You look at your face, you look at who you are. They are very, very sensitive. If he's a man, you say, please come and say, hey, are you calling me? You see, boom, boom, boom. He has nothing in his mind. So women tend to be more conscious. So immediately the man will come in and come with different idea from. The woman will begin to dig where he's coming from. And I found out that most of the time, he's coming from mommy and papa. So he came back that day to bring that particular this. The woman said to him, I will never take this suggestion of your daddy and your mommy. He said, what do you mean? I don't know my mother, I don't know my father. I said, go and marry them. This marriage was cut into pieces. And these are two nice people. But they are not willing to accept each other. They are not willing to accept to grow and to learn and build into that marriage. You see, marriage is work. And we must understand it. So managing you have to look at your attitude too. The characters, the way you handle issues. Are you a kind of person that is partial in your own judgment? Maybe if it's your brother's, if it's your husband, brother or sister, you became partial. Some men will not take that from you. If it's coming from your wife, you now stood and say why? Because it's coming from your wife. If both parties can see themselves as one, see themselves also as a work in progress. If something happened with siblings or mother, your mother is my mother. So there's nothing like, is my in-law. What is mama saying? Make her know that she is also your own mother. Make him know that he is also your own father. And this is our father. What are we going to do? Yeah. So I believe that if that unity is there, and even your own siblings, they found out that the husband and wife are together, believe you me, most of their challenges will not come in. The reason why they come in is when you make it obvious that you can come, you are my brother, so you have right over my house. I have someone in my class at a point in time although she's married, she was married and later there was a problem and did not marry another man. Then before I met her, and the son of that man will come home, the husband will tell her, whatever this boy, you don't have right to beat him. You see, from that, he's trying to let the woman, you have your own place, we're not together. Immediately anybody sense that. If it takes you to stand your feet, to make your people know that, see, I and my wife is one. Immediately that thing happened. They try to come from the wife. No way. They try to come from the husband. No way. They say, leave them. That man, now waiting wife talk, now they do. So we must understand that our unity is not just for us to be united, but it's also an influence to people around us. It will make people to know that, coming to talk about her, there's somebody coming to me now, you want to tell me something, say, I don't want to tell anybody. I hope you're not including my wife, right? You don't want me to tell anybody. If I tell my wife, did I tell anybody?
No.
I didn't tell anybody, Abi. Because I must. Okay? So, what is there is unity, being able to work together as a family, put yourself together, love yourself, and see each other as one. Don't divide your family. Bring yourself together and make people know that you are one. When you have such attitude, it will be, you can control your family. You will not allow the external bodies to come around your family for you. Some men are not men. Some men are like women. I have to stay here to say it. There are some men who can't put their feet down whenever it has to do with their mother. Because they build a serious relationship with their mother to a point. I'm not saying the men should go out and insult their mother. But you let to know your mother know that this is my wife and this is my home. A man need to be a man that can be able to put his feet down to anything and whatsoever that he wants. Not trying to please anybody, but to stand in that which is right. If it's your mother or my mother, it doesn't not matter. This is the truth, and you stand on it. If you build your marriage that way, I believe that no matter who the person is trying to come in from outside, when they see that the wall and the union is very strong, they will not be able to penetrate with whatever suggestion that they have. Praise the Lord.